Hey, everybody. Welcome to day 3 of Sustainable Business, whatever the title is, with Kristen Boss. Wow. I mean, are you guys blown away by, we started to talk about it, but are you blown away by the information today? Okay. One moment, please. Let me get my notes. Obviously the part that really resonates with me is this chart here. And I, doing this for a lot of years, that's how it works. And, everybody freaks out and then everybody ghosts for like 2 weeks. Okay, I'll shut up. You guys tell me, what were your takeaways? What did you think? And she talked about a lot more than that, but that's the last part. And that is sticking with me. Let's hear it.
The difference in the hustle cycle versus the abundance cycle. Like that was what kind of really resonated with me because I've been doing this for so long. It's always been, hey, we hustle until the end of the month and then we burn out. It's not, hey, okay, you know what? We need to take care of, look more into the future and figure out, okay, you know what? Have that lasting, the recurring customers with Wine Club. So have that recurring long-time customer versus just the one-time buyer. And you're always going to want to follow up with them, make sure like you're fulfilling a need for them and you're making sure customer service.
Yeah. Right. I mean, yeah, I have so much to say, but I want to hear from you guys too. What?
So tagging on from what Lila just said, she talked about customer service shame. I have customer service shame because I don't do it.
When she said that, I was thinking, I suck. I suck so bad. I can't believe how terrible I am at this. And then she's like, and there's so much shame around it. And I'm all, I know. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, just it's a new day, right? Start doing it right now.
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah, man, that was powerful. Because I was like, it totally puts you in this place of like, well, I'm screwed. What am I going to do? Like, start today.
And they're not expecting you to reach out. Like when I do my reach outs, they're so surprised that you actually follow up and say, hey, did you enjoy this? Feel free to join my VIP group, or reach out if you want to continue with all that stuff. So continuing those reach outs. And I mean, once I started doing it, I was seeing everybody come back and be like, this is so nice. I wasn't really expecting it because they get those automated texts from One Hope saying, hey, your shipment's here, but then it's crickets.
Yeah.
So this way you're actually following up. And when they don't, like when they see that, okay, you know what, you're following up, but they're not expecting it. So you can do it whenever you remember, whenever an order comes in. Sometimes I even forget and it's like a week later and it's like, okay, I'm just checking in, even though it's been a week since you've gotten your stuff. Most people haven't really had a chance to try the wines until a week or 2 later.
Yeah. I loved, and what Christina said, she sends thank you, but doesn't hear back. And I think that's fine. You're still top of mind for them. Right. So when they do want wine or when they do need to send a gift or whatever, they're like, oh, where's that text? Kaz and I used to call it the Vistaprint theory. They're not as bad now, but back in the day, you would get a Vistaprint email every day. And every day, God bless it. I don't need that until the day you needed it. And you were like, oh crap, I just got an email that had a coupon in it. Right. So it was annoying until it wasn't. And that's kind of the same. Obviously, don't spam these people. Right. But you're top of mind for them, even if they're not responding, what was so powerful for me was how strikingly different coming from a place of abundance is, as opposed to being in that hustle cycle. Starting, I mean, and you know what, this is the sweater, right? That again, these are things that I've talked about for a long time. Kaz and I, Anya and I, we talk about these things, you know, your kid's getting ready to leave the house and you go, sweetie, you might want to put on a sweater. And they're like, whatever, mom. And then their friend goes, dude, it's cold out. You want to grab a sweater? And they're like, yeah, totally. So I've heard this stuff over and over and over and over and over and over and over, but for whatever reason, it really hit home with me, this being in gratitude, coming from service all the time, at all times. It's so easy to get caught up in what I need. What's my goal? What's my target? What am I trying to get? Who cares? Yeah, Kaz.
And I think for me, the messaging that we get from the company is hustle.
100%.
And it has never sat well with me. And so it's really eye-opening to look at these two charts, circles, and see, you know what? Abundance. Yeah, that's where we want to come from.
And we definitely, again, we've heard those words forever. We've heard them. I mean, certainly you and I have heard them for the last 10 years for sure. But the words and the actions are very different. So, I mean, I think the beauty of this is, and I don't want to be, going down that rabbit hole.
No.
They're running a business. They haven't had the benefit of this training necessarily or whatever, right? They got numbers that they got to hit, whatever.
And a certain amount of hustle is, but maybe it's not hustle. Maybe it's a different thing.
And the powerful thing is that we own our own businesses and we run our businesses the way we run our businesses, right? And maybe, maybe that's where it starts. We really, these are top leaders in this room, and we start really, demonstrating that in a powerful way, anyway. Did anybody else take like really big notes? I took so many notes today, like so many key little phrases. And let me look back here. I love work with intention more than intensity, right? That just feeds into that cycle of crazy, that hustle cycle kind of a thing. Who's got their hand up? Anya. Hi, honey.
Hey, beautiful. I was just going to say about when she did this part of the chart, the bottom, and where it came down to your first of all, looking at a whole year versus a month, right? Because it's so easy to look into that. We start again and we start again. But if you look at the progress all year long, hopefully you're moving up. But when she mentioned there's this dip that will happen.
Yes.
And what do we do during that dip? And I know for myself, that's when I go into the hustle zone and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, okay, why isn't my PCV where it needs to be? Or why isn't our team PCV where it needs to be? Why aren't the extract, whatever it is, right? And then you go into this fight mode and you start looking for new strategies and you're trying to find new things and you're just trying. I liked when she said that is when you service and that is when you slow down and that is when you care for others and when you reach out to your customers and when you just love on those that are there. And it's okay to have that dip because we don't get the permission to say it is okay. Like, it's okay if you don't have a great month, just build on and continue doing what you're doing. So I really liked when she it's giving us permission to say, it's okay to say I had a bad month. And it's okay to say I did not do anything new. I just did the same small movement to keep going.
When she talked about when you have that one real heavy month of recruiting and then the next month you're not, and you're like, oh my gosh, well, no, now you're implementing, now you're fulfilling, right, what you said you were going to do, and you're helping these people. Yeah, it was so good. And I think, I'll speak for myself, but I know like you guys, a little more seasoned people who've been here for a minute, I feel really grateful that I am in a place where if I have a crappy month, that's okay. Cause I know that this is just a month, and 7 years in. Anya, what are you, 6 years in, 5 years in, right? I think I feel like I do see the bigger picture, and which is not to say that I don't get caught up in the crazy, but it's easier to see the more long-term picture, the bigger picture,
But then the question that I had, this all sounds amazing and beautiful, but how can you not work in a 30-day cycle when our industry is a 30-day cycle?
And that's a great
And
question.
I don't have an answer for that.
Well, I kind of do. And I don't know. I've known about this for a while, but I don't know how to implement it because it's so opposite of what we do. And Kaz, you and I talked about this. There's a direct sales leader. I don't remember what business she might've been Color Street, and her month goes 15th to 14th. So for her, the beginning of the month is the 15th, and that's what she onboards everybody at. And so all of everything that she does, so that beginning of that, there isn't that big drop off at the beginning of the month. So I'll go back in my archives and see if I can find it. I thought,
but it's still a 30-day cycle.
And
that's what I mean. Like our industry.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's always
I like that
30-day cycle, but it doesn't, I think her point was it doesn't have to be that like huge shoot at the end of the month and then everybody's exhausted and done. And what I thought was really interesting about that too was the more months in a row you do that, the less your production is, because people are burnt, they're tired, they're done. I don't want to keep doing this. I remember one of the first people on our team here that hit director, and no names will be used, but I was like, good job, you did it. Woohoo. All right, now next month. And she's like, I got to do that again. Right? Like that is just the truth of what we're doing. We start over every single month. But I think what she was really talking about was having more of that bigger picture and balanced business, right? Front load your tastings. I mean, this is what, on leader calls, we talk about this a lot. Front load your tastings so that the first half of the month you're doing your due. The second half of the month, you're supporting your team in doing their due, right? There's no way around the 30-day itself because that's just the way it is, We always start over every month. Yeah, she was like, do I have to do that again? And I'm like, well, yep, every month we do that,
And I think I've also seen a couple people like drop off of just doing one hope because of the burnout. And I think that's where I understood that big crescendo versus the smaller, concentrating on the smaller dips and crescendos, because you're not expelling as much energy and focus on, okay, I've got to do a big push for month end, and you're not pushing people to buy all this stuff from you towards the month end. You're concentrating on, okay, you know what? I need to concentrate on my processes and how I service everybody and how this product will help them versus how them buying from me is going to help me. How is it going to help them? And then that brings them back because then they realize, okay, you know what? You're not pushing me to purchase your product. You're pushing me to realize, okay, this is going to fulfill a need that I have versus how can it help you?
Right.
And that was yesterday's point. That was one of the points from yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Was to come from that place of, it's not about me, but it's about them. It's about our customers, it's about our team, and what do we need, and how do we help them? And it's just a different mindset, different perspective.
It is a very different mindset, a very different perspective. And, you know, I think for us to model it, you know, I mean, it's great to do these trainings and hear all of this and think I'm totally going to do that. And then, like you said, Kaz, the world around you is not playing that way. And so you get swooped up in it. And, and obviously, that we are given incentives. We are, we're given goal, different things like that. So that feeds all of that frenzy. But I have to believe, mommy loves an incentive. Do not get me wrong. I love them all and I will hustle for them. But I think you can still do that with this different frame of mind, systems and processes. I mean, who's got great systems? Anyone? I don't. I do not have a good system for follow-up, for, reach outs, for anything like that. Anyone? What's her name say? What?
You kind of learn what works best for you over time. But you definitely, like she kept reiterating, you do not want to be a strategy junkie where you jump to one strategy over the next, or you compare your journey to somebody else who jumped 15 ranks in 3 days.
Yep.
And that was really mind-blowing to me, because I thought about it and I was like, okay, I am comparing myself to everybody else I see promoting and doing all this other stuff. And it's like, I've got to work within my little niche market and figure out what works best for me versus what's working best for everybody else, because I don't know who everybody else is talking to.
Yeah. That really, that strategy junkie really, really resonated with me, because you can see that happening. Well, let's try this. Well, let's try that. Well, this isn't working. So let's try this. And I'm not talking about from One Hope, although you do see that from One Hope to a certain degree for sure. But I'm talking about, other team leaders and things who are, sort of constantly trying to come up with another idea or whatever. And I do it too, we know what works. We know what works. Being of service, being consistent, keeping your head down, not comparing with other people, coming from a place of abundance. Those are the things that work. They may not work as fast as some of the other things, but they're sustainable. Hence the name of this whole deal, right? They're sustainable. And that's what we're going for. I mean, that's what I'm going for, right? I mean, and everybody might not be going for that. Everybody might have different ideas about what they want. Kaz.
And I was just needing to send a message. So you may have said this, but in her future focus, it's about having infinite commitment to a finite goal. So whatever your commitment is, right, your infinite commitment to the goal in the time frame, but the time frame can move. So if you don't hit that when you want to hit it initially, you just push the time frame out. So you're, I want to be whatever it is, I don't know, NED by whatever date. You don't make it, you shoot for the moon, you fall amongst the stars,
100.
and you just push it again. You push the date out, and you push the date out, and you don't panic and feel like you have to hustle to get it, because in the big picture, if you make it now or you make it later, you've still hit your goal.
Yeah. And if you don't, you still made incremental
right
improvements, or you've moved the needle for your business in some way.
You're still winning.
100%.
Yeah.
Did anybody buy the $19 add-on? I did, and I didn't even know what it was. I thought it was going to be full of scripts. I'm like, I'll take it, $19, let's go. And then she's like, there are no scripts in here. But what I love about it is that there are prompts. So I bought it. I don't know. I think you can print it out. So if I can download it, I'm more than happy to share it with you guys. I do much better with a prompt. You know, I use the play cards as a prompt, like we talked about the other night, and then I go in and change it. So it sounds like me, you know, because I don't talk like other people. And the people that know me know that, you know, you can download it as a PDF. Hi, Bobby. And print it out. Okay. Even if you didn't buy it. Okay.
I'm hitting all kinds of buttons except for the unmute button. No, I bought it also, but
Okay.
I downloaded it. So I have it as a download and I printed it out. So, so you can do that. If you have it, you can do
If
that.
I can share, if I can, I will 1000% share it with you guys. For sure.
Is that the same thing that she was like waving around for when this was originally recorded?
No?
No, the thing that she was waving around was a much thicker document.
And what was that? And can we get a hold of
It's-
that? Do you know?
It's the book that is included in her academy. So
If
if
you-
you purchase her Lifetime Academy, you get you get that script. Now, I don't know if she's still sending it out priority mail because this was
Well,
recorded in
think so.
2020.
yeah.
But when you join the academy, I believe she still includes that because as part of the academy, from what I understood from what she was saying at the end of day 2 and even the beginning of day 3, the academy, you get personal coaching with her on Wednesdays, but it's also like they're pre-recorded. So it's like days and days of these calls. And then you get individualized coaching with her on Wednesdays, but you have lifetime access to it.
Yeah.
So
it's very, very Steve Wiltshire. That's his whole deal. And that's, you know, that's super successful for them, you know? And I'm not going to tell you yes or no to join her academy or pay for her coaching or whatever. I will tell you that I made an investment years ago and it definitely changed how I run my business. And, you know, so I don't know, but you can also just go buy the little trainings, you know, and I'm in talking to a couple of people about continuing education, if you will, you know, throughout the year. So there'll be other opportunities, but always know they're selling you, right? You know, they're always going to try to sell you their product and, you know, don't buy all of it. Like, this really resonated with me though. I mean, I don't know that I would join her academy or her coaching or anything like that, but she just spoke to me. I you know, she's probably the most authentic trainer I've seen. You know, I mean, and Kaz and Anya, we've done some trainings, like we have done some trainings over the years. And anyway, I might reach out to her and see if she wants to come on in.
Well,
Yeah.
For me, oh, sorry, Anya, go ahead.
Go ahead,
Go,
Lila.
girl.
Okay. For me, it was definitely an eye-opening because a lot of the trainings that I've seen come across aren't specific for direct marketing or sales or anything like that. They're more the small businesses, whether or not you're opening a brick and mortar or you're starting something from scratch. This was kind of, okay, you know what? Yes, you may be starting a business from scratch, but this was more or less the direct marketing portion of it. So I think that kind of was, okay, you know what? You're speaking my language because you're speaking to what I'm doing.
Yeah. I don't have to try to translate it in my head.
Right.
Anya, I see you unmuted, but Anya had something she wanted to jump in with too, Kaz.
Oh, thank you. So half of what Lila was going to say, so I don't have to say that anymore. Agreed, 100%. It was very specific. But one of the things that I like during the third day, she talked about the lifetime customer versus that
Yeah.
one-time purchase. And, you know, the way, like, I look at it, we are so focused on, like, again, that 30-day cycle or that one-time purchase, not realizing that the experience that the person's going to get can lead to a party can lead to referrals, could lead to whatever it is, outside of even just the wine club order,
Yeah.
but like they'll be sharing and talking about our story. And it comes down to, well, how do you create a system? I know whenever I do the follow-ups, I eventually get burned out, especially when I have a very busy month with a lot of customers. And when I go into, when it's a smaller amount, sure, I used to do like even personalized videos on the text, and those were fantastic. It took me like less than a minute to send out, got great feedback. But then when you just had 2 parties in a weekend, and now you have to send 25 of them, let's say, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And then you go, I find myself, I go into the freeze. I don't have the time. And do I really make the video look like I'm homeless? So then like, oh, let me just wait until I take a shower. And it never happens. And then that shame
You
kicks
did mean
in.
homeless.
Uh-huh. And then like the shame kicks in, and then you're like, well, I'm just gonna restart next month. And you just keep doing these things that are sabotaging. But I don't know what the solution is in order to make it simple, that we always can do it regardless of what it is. But I love the lifetime customer.
Yeah, that was really eye-opening. It's not just, what did she say that she initially, when she did the calculation, it's like one customer's worth 30,000. But when you start talking about the refer, and I was totally thinking about my stylist. Do you know how many people I've sent to her? It's ridiculous. She makes so much money off of the people. And think about like my realtor, literally, I've given her 4 referrals and who listed their homes with her and sold them. Like, you're welcome. But think about like that was really powerful. I thought you're talking about $150,000 now, like crazy. Thank you for bringing that up. And Anya, maybe it's that you make a video and while it might sound canned or scripted, it really wouldn't be, right? Thank you. So, without using the person's name. Oh my God, that was so fun to meet you last night. What a blast. I'm so excited for you to get your wine. We supported XYZ, whatever. So it's a little bit canned, right? But you could cut and paste it. You could just send that link or whatever, have it in I use UCam because they have filters. So your regular camera doesn't, and I'm always like, oh, speaking, I don't look that great, but I pay for UCam because it'll ease out these wrinkles and stuff, much like on the Zoom when you can, freshen up. But I pay for it because it looks professional. I look put together. Even if I'm in my sweats and I don't have makeup on, I don't really use the makeup feature because if you do, it has eyelashes. And if you blink wrong, the eyelashes will stay like up here. So don't use the eyelashes. But it just kind of, you could do that for even just do one for each party and then send that out for that party. Because you could say Linda's party was a riot. Can you remember when so-and-so did XYZ? It'll still seem very personal, and it is personal, but you can still send it to everybody, I got off on a tangent because did you guys want to I want to go live. I want to make a post. Like the whole time I'm listening to her, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I totally need to do that. Did you guys?
I was completely like, especially when I was listening to day 2 yesterday, I was all like, okay, I need to make a post about this. I need to make a post about this. And it needs to be like, not generic, like my questions about want to learn more about this wine gig and all this other stuff. I need to be, I need to do this. I need to do this. And then when I was like looking into actually using my computer to post, it's like, okay, slow down, Lila.
Yeah.
Take a minute. And then you can post tomorrow if you really want to. But the other thing too is that because I have the VIP group, I can schedule my posts. So if I forget what I want to say, I can put together the post and then schedule it for a time tomorrow. So say I want to go back in and edit it, I can then edit it to be, okay, I've slowed down, I've thought about it. I need to revise what I was going to say because I was so excited about this training. and I just need to stay calm.
Yeah. Well, you do. You get caught up, right?
Yeah.
Bobby, thank you. Bobby sent me the PDF. I did pay for it, so I also have it, but I appreciate it because it'll be right here for me to see it. And what I'm going to try to do is, I know that Facebook, well, maybe just in the group, I can send it, right? Did you send it directly to me? Okay. Maybe
Yeah,
try.
As I said, am I in a group on Facebook Messenger? I can stick it in there.
Well, this group has a chat. The chat feature in
Oh,
the group
gotcha.
is super weird. I don't know. I will go in the group and try to find, all of a sudden last night, I'm in like all these chats from different groups that I'm in. And I was like, how did I get in this group? It's just sort of automatic, but I will find out, and I'll make a note or something and be like, Bobby, this one, and then you can stick it in there. I want to be respectful of everybody's time. I also would love your feedback on this. How you felt about this. Do you want to keep doing stuff like this? And I just really appreciate you guys. Yeah. Right. And, we're the change that we want to see. Right. So if we don't want that hustle, you don't have to buy into that, period. End of that sentence. You don't have to buy into that. We have another way, right? We're learning another way to be. And go ahead, Kaz, I see you.
Yeah, I just wanted to add a thought. We're a pretty small group,
Mhm.
right? Out of all the people in the Dream Crew, we're a pretty small group. Just keep going. When Laurie and I first started doing team meetings locally, it was us. It was the two of us. And over time, people will be drawn to it, especially if we're talking about it and we're posting about the results that we've got from the different things that we've been doing. Momentum will build. So
Yeah.
the more that we can show up, more people are going to show up each time.
Yeah.
So just, let's be the beginning of this.
I love
We're
that.
the OGs. We're the OGs.
We are the OGs. We're the lifers. Yeah. And tell your teammates, tell whoever you talk to, if you pace with somebody or whatever, turn them on to this training and let them know, like, come to the next one. I will let you know that I have already scheduled the next one. I've had one meeting. I'm in the middle of packing, so I'm not entirely sure where my calendar is, but wait, I have one here. It's at the end of February. And I think I like this lady. I enjoyed our first meeting because she asked some really good questions. I want to say it's the 28th, Sunday, Monday. Tell me I didn't put it in here. Seriously. All right. I will here it is. Wait. No, that ain't it. I want to say it's one moment. Sorry about my body.
Don't ever apologize.
I know. It's a thing that Marnie and I always say to each other. Sorry about my body.
So
So
it's not naked on here, you're fine.
I mean, listen, it's a different Zoom. Okay. I have it scheduled for the 27th at 6:30. And actually, Kaz, this is Kim's networking friend. I don't know if she's been Jessica. Can't think of her last name. She's been trying to get us connected for a while, and we finally did.
Kim Smith.
No. Yeah, Kim Smith. Yeah, Kim Smith. And the woman is Jessica something. Anyway, I really she did a discovery call with me. It'll be the same, it'll be a one time session, and it's about an hour to an hour and a half. And she's going to sell you on coaching, right? But the questions that she asked me were very insightful. And so I think we'll get a lot of value from it. I am going to reach out to Kristen Boss, because why wouldn't I? Right. And then if you guys come across, in your travels, I should turn off the recording. Thanks, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Where's my recording? Why do I always have so much trouble? One moment, please.